Hey there, this is Quanisha Green, the Black Woman CEO Coach, and I'm coming to you to do a quick video. I didn't want to do it through Facebook Live because I get distracted with people coming in and out. But I wanted to come here because this week I was supposed to do a series with the three supposedly essential must-haves Black women need to grow sustainable businesses. So I did part one early in the week, like on Monday, and then it was kind of like radio silence for me. And to be completely transparent, I just totally divested from my launch and marketing. And here's why: my stinking thinking got in the way. And what I mean by that is, so I have a diagnosed mental health disorder called bipolar disorder. And I've had it the whole time managing my business. I've had it while I made 30K in 90 days, and I've had it when I didn't make anything in my business. Although when I haven't made anything, it's because I wasn't doing anything, right? But anyway, I'm saying that because the most revenue I've generated has been the second full year in my business. This year, I've made more than I have as a full-time co-executive director of a nonprofit. So far this year, I've attracted about 50K in revenue. And so in the 2 years that I've been full-time, aside from maternity leave and things like that, my battery's dying. I have generated 100K in total business revenue. And that has been at somewhat of a profit, because a lot of the profits actually reinvest into the business, into myself, particularly my coaching. And I'm telling you all this because tonight I was sitting here thinking, like, am I going to send out the final emails and complete the launch on the final enrollment day? Do I want to finish this video series? And I had to do a lot of self-reflection for even myself. I had migraines over the last 2 days. I was feeling down, literally crying, all these kind of things like that. And for those who have been in the community for a while, I talk about the challenges around motherhood, around managing my illness. But I realized that I was letting myself be in that state. I was letting myself wallow. And truly, it's because I stopped doing my mindset work on a daily basis. I got these really great results, like I said, 30K in 90 days, like in the spring. Then I had clients from all that, working with them, did some marketing, like I did some of our boot camps, but I started to feel like the low. I started to get the up and down. And then my hypnotherapist was reminding me, Quani, should go back to your mindset work. And I would do it a little bit, but I don't know if some of you can relate to this. You know how like you get on a diet, and this actually what happened. I lost like 20 pounds, you get on a diet, and you're like, oh, I can eat whatever I want, right? And so you're eating whatever you want, and you're like, not noticing that you're gaining this weight back. And then until you like maybe put something on or you see a photo and then you step on the scale and you're like, oh my God, I gained this 20, 30 pounds back. How the hell did that happen? And it's because we regress back to the familiar. And for me, that happened mentally, right? I started the negative things that I say to myself: nobody loves you, you're unlovable, people are not going to value you, do you really even know what you're talking about? Yeah, you get results, but these are not great results. Like, I call her Victim Vicky. Victim Vicky just started yapping, 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 right? Like I said, I also actually gained 30 pounds back, right? So even physically, I don't feel good about myself. And though I was seeing that in the results of the launch, like I was attracting people who were kind of, right? Not truly believing in themselves and weren't ready to invest, even though I said you should only apply if you're ready to invest. And so I kind of divested and then got all in my head again, right? Because then I felt like, oh, I wasn't getting yeses in my strategy session calls, and I was used to getting, oh, absolute, okay, Quenisha, I'm ready. Here's my card, right? Let's sign up. Or, oh, that's okay, 5K, no problem, right? And so I was starting to then, the results that I was getting was feeding back into the limiting beliefs and negative thinking. And so I am mentioning all this today because I had to really reflect on what was happening this week. And while we can sometimes blame the outward stuff, oh, it's the people, right? Or they weren't ready. I had to really take ownership that my mindset, my energy levels, my self-belief and where my self-worth was attracting all this stuff into my life. It was attracting the migraines I was experiencing, was attracting me not drinking water or me binge eating because I wasn't, processing my emotions, right? Was attracting me not feeling great and, feeling depressed and having a mood disorder and feeling disconnected from the people in my life, right? So if you really truly believe that your thoughts ultimately create your reality, right? Then you have to pay attention to those thoughts. And so I really wanted to do this video because the key reason why many of us don't grow sustainable businesses is because we lack clarity, confidence, and courage. And if you watch the masterclass, or even my first video, particularly for Black women, because of our socialization, our familial background, sometimes our own lived experiences, our history, we are told some things about ourselves, right? And we internalize them to some level, right? It's almost like an internalized inferiority or not thinking you're great, identifying with negative stereotypes like the strong Black woman and all these other things that, particularly when we go to show up in our business, even sometimes our careers, we live out those things, right? So it's like a subconscious programming. And part of what we have to do is reprogram ourselves. And that's heavily what I do with my clients, help them to reprogram, right? Stay on that track, and then also teach them revenue generating strategies. So, but in all that is a fourth must have. And in this must have, you have to have this deep sense of trust. And it's trust on two levels, particularly if you're trying to learn, say, a revenue generating strategy from a program or a coach or whatever you're in. One, you have to have trust for that person or whatever process you're going through. So particularly like for me, when I joined a mastermind, the mastermind I did was the Happy Black Woman Mastermind with Rosetta Thurman, who I was in her community for a while. But when I joined the mastermind, at the level that I joined at the time, the tuition was like $1,400 a month or something. And I knew at the time, I had no plan. I didn't have that coming into my business. I had just graduated graduate school. I had got enough clients to allow me to cover my bills. It's just right there. And so to pay an extra $1,000 or $1,500, I was like, I don't quite know how that's going to happen, right? But one, I trusted that what I was going to invest in was going to help me to know what I needed to know to build a revenue generating business. So I trusted her, right? And I trusted the process. And so I put the deposit down that I had $1,000. And then I had to trust myself. And this is exactly what I told myself. I said, I know and I trust myself enough to know that I would do the work and get the results that I need to pay for this mastermind. So I trusted that I was a worthy investment. And trust is something that you build. So I learned that because when I invested in $97 programs, I did the work and saw results. When I invested in $300 programs, I did the work and saw results. Even if I did it on a very little level. When I invested in 1K programs, I did the work and saw results, right? So I knew that I was someone who took action, and I finished. I even did things while I was afraid, even when I didn't feel all 100% self-worth. And I still don't feel 100% self-worth, right? Because I have a childhood trauma background. So I fluctuate, like I said. But I trusted I would do the work and get results. And my business paid for that mastermind. My business has paid for all the trainings that I've done. So I've invested close to $35K into my business, and I've generated 3 times that. So you can say, 300% return on investment? Or is it like a 200%? Anyway, because it went from 35K that I invested and then like 100K in revenue. So y'all do the math. It's like 200% maybe, I don't know. And even if I didn't put the money right to the things I paid for, everything was paid for on time. But I'm saying like I chose maybe do other things with the money, or but my, you can say my business activities, I recouped what I invested, right? And more so. And I've been able to invest in myself more and pay bills and, have electricity, all that good stuff. And so there's another level of trust actually, is that I had faith that my needs would be met. That I know many of you know that term, the universe will conspire for my good. And the times when I would sometimes worry or get anxious, I recalled, right, from a little girl growing up at 8 years old in the projects to going into Ivy League, to then, having all the ups and downs that I have, and then getting married, being in a home, having jobs, and having a business. I've never lacked. I never lacked. Even when I didn't have a job, I was still being taken care of, had food, lived with a mentor, right? And got funds coming in other different ways, got disability, SSDI, right? Because I had worked since I was 13, so I qualified for that when I needed it. And I'm sharing all this with you. I know it's you're probably like, what is Gwenny talking about? This is a real talk moment because, I had a prospective client email me and she said, I'm trying to figure this out. I don't know if this is the right time because she has a young child. She's thinking about having another one. And she was like, can I do this? And I was like, well, I lived this. I lived it, right? I have a 5-year-old and I started doing this business stuff when he was 2 or 3. And then I had a baby while I was doing this. I've also been a full-time entrepreneur while I was pregnant. Very sick during my pregnancy, came back to my business at 3 months and did the work, right? Made investments even while I was still trying to figure out finances and investments, hypnotherapy, different things, like I said. And so I told her, I said, 18 plus years are going to go past anyway, right? They are. For many of us, let me plug in this phone. These years are going to pass. And you have to make a decision on, are these 18 plus years going to pass with you doing what you wanted to do? Or are you going to find yourself and figuring out, so let me say this. Time is going to pass anyway. So are you going to have this time pass trying to create the life you desire? And then getting the results. And the results are not necessarily have to be favorable, right? You may learn that, hey, I don't want to really do this business, or I don't really want to write this book, or actually trying to manage this with my kids. It's not how I want to do it. So let me wait a year or two, maybe when they're in school. But if you don't try, right, you may find yourself 18 plus years from now with the big question of what if? Right? What if I did try to write that book? What if I did try to start that business while I was still working my 9 to 5, or while my kids were still in grade school, or while I had a baby? And that what if is going to bother you, right? What if I never joined that mastermind? What if I just went and got a graduate job in social work? Right? And I decided that I didn't want to live with that what if question. Right? And I had to trust that it would all work out, right? Even if it worked out that being in business for myself didn't work out, I trusted that something else would work out. So when you're in the startup phase, one, is good to get a trusted system, right, that has gotten results from somebody. You don't have to figure this all out for yourself. And this is not me trying to sell you anything. But many times as Black women, we're like, part of our strong Black women is, I'll figure it out. I don't need no help. I'm just going to read a book. And then you don't follow the book and you go, I'm going to figure this out, right? You just keep going in these circles. You get overwhelmed. You procrastinate. Your fear kicks in. I see it all the time, right? I experience it. So I'm talking to you from two places. So one, get someone you trust, right? A coach or a system that you want to invest in their work. And then you have to build the trust in yourself to do the work, to trust that you're going to be a finisher and you're going to implement, to trust that you are going to feel the fear and do it anyway, to trust that you're going to give it your best, not knowing what the outcome might be. But once again, that has to be trusting in yourself, and your self-worth has to be there, right? To say, even I trust myself to grow the courage over time, right? Or I trust that I can replicate these results for other people, right? I trust that I will have the courage to get out there and that the right people will be attracted to me, right? And so it's the trusting and hopefully the methodology that you learned, right, in business is trusting in yourself to do the work and to show up and show out. And then it's trusting that God, right, or the universe is going to conspire for your good. Knowing that your good might not be exactly what you had in mind, right? But that along the way, it's all going to work out in your favor, right? That the best thing is going to show up when it needs to show up and when it needs to show up right in its own timing. And so that's why often people can't guarantee your results, because each one of us are going to have a different walk. So you also have to trust, right, that this is a faith walk and that your walk is your walk. Right? And as you continue to walk that, things will become clear. And often faith is just asking, what is your best next step? What is that best next step? So when we talk about particularly Black women going sustainable businesses, right, we have to have all these different levels of trust and courage and confidence and clarity. Right? That sometimes is very different than what we've been taught or what continuously shows up in our reality. Right? If you hear, mass media telling you you won't be successful or you can't live where you want to live, right? Or people like you don't do XYZ, right? Or maybe you've been successful in your career, but you're definitely not going to be successful in your business, right? Whether these are thoughts you formulated yourself or these are messages, right, that we've internalized, those are things that we have to be conscious about and then make new decisions about, reframe those beliefs, and then even act in spite of them so that we can have success in business. And then often we do have to invest in the mentorship and the systems that might not be accessible to us within our social networks. And sometimes you might be saying, why can't this be free? Why can't this be free? And it's not, right? A lot of the deep how-to is not free, or sometimes it is in the book and you just got to do it. But if you want to ask questions or try to tailor it to you, often we do have to pay for someone to support us with that. So that is all that was on my mind during this late night real talk that I wanted to have with you. So, the must-haves that we need. Yes, we need clarity. We need to understand who we are. We need to understand who we're trying to serve and the problem we're trying to solve. We need to have the confidence and our self-worth, right? That we can get these results for people, that we would show up for ourselves, that you know what you know, right? That you're an expert, right? And you can clearly explain what you do, right? Confidence in that and standing strongly in that. And then we need courage. We need courage to ask what we're worth. And your worth is not about, as far as the worth that I'm talking about in business sense, is not sometimes what we have as our self-worth. It's our worth in the marketplace, right? What do these skills that you have go for in the marketplace? And you have to have the courage to position yourself as that high value leader, even if you have your own thinking, right? But that's also the courage to actually start to elevate your thought, right? The courage to do that self-introspective work, right? So that you so that your thoughts can start to align with the worth that you are in the marketplace, right? So maybe the value of your skill set, maybe it's a 30K value, but your thoughts are at a 997 level, right? So we have to do that work. We have to be courageous enough to do that work, to go there, to sometimes go to those dark places so that we can elevate our thinking and start to position ourselves as a high value expert. And then also you have to have the courage to close the deal, right? To really ask them for that worth, to ask for that value. And like I said, underlying all this are different levels of trust. The trust in the mentors that you might be investing in or the information that you get, the self-trust that you trust yourself to show up to do the work, right? To make the sales, to do the mindset work that you need to do, right? To honor yourself in that way. And then the trust that it will all work out for your good, right? That the right doors will open when they need to open, right? That your best will happen when it needs to happen, knowing that it's going to change from moment to moment. So I just wanted to come and just give you those insights. Like I said, I've been struggling the last couple of days, and I'm glad I did. So we can even say, right, I'm glad I did, because if I continue to trust that all that happened for my good, and it did, because it helped me to see that I was not in the right place, because I stopped doing the work that I needed to do. That helps me to show up well, right? That helps me to ask my worth comfortably, right? That helps me to attract high value clients, right? And all that needs to happen too, so that I could do this video for you and feed you, right? So that you can go on and do the same. So I'm recording this on my phone. I'm going to share it right now on social media, and I'm also going to share it via email. So the Profit School, the program where I walk you through the processes of helping you to get a stronger state of mind, right? And your self-worth, to fully understand what it means to lead like a CEO, right? To lead like a business leader. And then the business strategy that helps you to monetize your expertise to solve a problem for people, right? And package what you know and start to get out in the market. And like I said, all this is done in a way that speaks to our particular needs and challenges as Black women, because I've spent hundreds of hours studying us, right, in the academy, in higher ed, and then doing this work with you. The Profit School takes you through all that. So if you're in the startup phase where you have an idea and you're trying to figure out, how do I monetize this, or how do I solve this problem? If you're in a phase where you've been in business and you're not creating consistent income, right? Maybe you're not hitting those 5 or 10K months consistently, or even if you want 1K, right? You're not seeing what you want consistently. This is the program for you, right? If you've been in the online masterminds and all those things, and you're like, I still don't know where to go, this is the program for you. If you're just like, hey, I want someone to walk me through this, I want to have access to someone answering their questions, right? And if I need to review how to market, there's something there, that's the Profit School, okay? And then you get live access to me. So the same way I came on this video is very much how I do our weekly Q&As. I'll come with a topic that will help you to often strengthen your mindset or knowledge around business strategy, right? Or reprogramming and reframing your mindset around your business so that you can show up more strongly. And then we also have live Q&As and provide you with coaching depending on, the questions that come in before or during it. So if you know you need that, if you trust me to help you get it, you can go to yourprofitroadmap.com and you can see the results I've gotten for other people. There's testimonials there, right? I didn't pay nobody to do a testimonial. They all volunteered. And of course, there's many clients who are not there. I know some of y'all are still shy, right? So if you trust me, you like me, you would like me to support you in that, right? All the information is there at yourprofitroadmap.com. But the most important trust that you have to make is in yourself. when you make that investment, it's not about me, right? It's really not about me or whoever you're investing in. It's about you. It is about you. Do you trust yourself to do the work so that you really get the fullness out of that investment? And that's really what pricing is about. We price it at a level that really helps people to say, oh, I'm going to do the work, right? And think about it. When you pay for stuff, you show up differently. But we do show up differently for a $97 product than we do for a $2,000 product or a $10K product, right? So you make that question, right? The Profit School full pay is $19.97. You can do it for 4 payments of $550. And so the question is, are you going to show up to do the work so that you can generate the revenue you need to recoup your investment? Because with the bonuses and everything like that, it's valued at more than that. And so I really made it a no-brainer. But it really comes down to you, right? Do you trust me? Do you trust yourself to do the work? And do you have faith, right, to go on this walk, to trust the universe or your higher power or God to walk with you on this, right? And sometimes trust is leaning on somebody else's faith for you while you build your own. So I'm going to have your back, right? And I tell my clients all the time, why are you not posting in the group? Why are you not emailing me, right? Why are you not showing up for your sessions, or why did you cancel it? I'm here. I'm waiting for you to show up. Right? You are paying me to support you. So get your money's worth. I say that all the time. You're paying for this group. You should be posting in it. If you're feeling scared, email me. That's why you're on limited email, right? I tell people, get your money's worth out of what you pay for. And so you'll see all the things that we have here to support you. We have community. We have the Facebook groups. And if you're looking for private coaching, then send me an email at Quanisha@QuanishaSmith.com. And you can actually go apply at the web link is theconfidenceceo.com. So, or if you see the Profit School at yourprofitroadmap.com, if you like that, you want to sign up, go for it. And if you want to figure out, Quanisha, do you have private coaching to go along with that? I do. So you can go to theconfidenceceo.com and fill out the application for a clarity session. Or you can skip all that, send me a message here on Facebook or wherever you're watching this, or email me at Quanisha@QuanishaSmith.com. So I know I probably just gave you a whole bunch of directions. So just go to yourprofitroadmap.com and you'll even find my email there, Quanisha@QuanishaSmith.com. Because I'm here to support you. I'm happy to answer your questions and help you think through if this is your best next step. I will tell you if it's not, right? Who this is not for is if you're struggling to buy groceries or pay your rent, right? This might not be the time for you. Because I don't want you to step out on that skinny branch where you're like, I don't know how I'm going to eat next month, but I invested in this program. Because it does take time to build a business. And depending on what you have in place, I do have clients who generate profits within 30 days of working with me, but they usually have some things in place. And then I have clients who have generated revenue within 90 days of working with me. And not only have they paid for their program, but they have money above that, right, that their business generated. So that's the question you have to ask yourself. Am I ready to do this work? Am I going to honor and trust myself to invest in what I desire, right? To invest in my calling and my purpose and what I want to do. So I feel like I've gone on a lot of tangents, but hopefully it all comes back and wrap around for you on these are the 3 must-haves you really need to grow a business. And then underline all that is a trust and stuff. And this is my invitation once again to you. If you would like to work with me in starting your business or helping you to get to that consistent place of generating revenue, I'm happy to help you do that. So you can go to yourprofitroadmap.com and check out the Profit School, Or if you want to pursue private coaching with me, which you're still going to do the Profit School anyway, I include it in your private coaching, right? And you want someone to work with you one-on-one, also connect with me at Quanisha at QuanishASmith.com. That's QUANISHA at QuanishASmith.com. It's in my maiden name. Or you can go to theconfidentceo.com, theconfidentceo.com. And that has the application too for the strategy session. So this is Quanisha Green signing off. This is my real talk on the late night. And I'll talk to you soon. And I hope to see you in the Profit School or in one of our community spaces. Bye.